Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of Striking Ground. I'm your host, Steve G. I have a special guest with us here today. Barry, introduce yourself, man.
What's up? My name is Barry from Sacramento, but I live in San Diego right now. And, happy to be here.
Absolutely, and it's good to have you. So I wanted to go over this card with you that we have coming up this Saturday. It's the third event under the new Paramount promotion. And how do you feel about it, Barry?
It's been
You
cool.
excited?
I'm more excited for this one. The last two, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the most pumped for.
Yeah,
But this one, I'm a huge fan of Fluffy. And then Fluffy's good people, trained from Northern California.
absolutely.
And then even my little brother knows Fluffy. Yeah, you can see them. They got pictures. They're more close. I had to turn down
Yeah,
an invitation to go to the fight card because I'm busy with some work. But it's all
yeah,
good. Yeah, it's all good. I'll go to the next one.
yeah. Hey, man, I tell you, man, we're all back in Fluffy. At least I am. I know you are. And then again, Strickland, I think they're both amazing fighters. I think that Sean Strickland has really good boxing and so forth. But before we get into that, I wanted to talk about a fight that we have on the main card between Dan 50K Ige and Melquizael Costa.
Yeah,
Milky, I like the guy.
yeah, I
What
like
do
him
you
too.
think? He just fought, right? He
Yeah,
just fought. What was that?
um,
What did you think about his last performance?
he had that head kick KO. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
But with those like that, it's hard to tell how good he really is because it was so fast. So it's kind of hard to make a prediction on how good he really is now. And his opponent, no disrespect, was it the last pirate was his nickname or something like
The
that?
50K Ige?
No,
Oh, the previous opponent
yeah,
that Melky had. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, he's from France, I think. He's not Dan Ige. You know what I mean? And
Nowhere near his calibers of fighter.
and I think I can see two things happening. Either one, Dan Ige shows that there's levels to this and makes it a hard, grind, ugly, just brutal win, or Costa has a coming out party and then puts the whole division on notice.
Kind of handing over the baton.
Yeah,
Yeah, I believe 50K even spoke about not liking to be considered a gatekeeper. For the last so many years, he's been in the top 10 for sure.
yeah,
And he's fought the likes of Diego Lopez, maybe even on record breaking short notice as well, where
yeah. Just a few
I believe
hours.
he competed. Yeah, he competed really well. But there's certain
Third round,
things I would like to
especially.
point out. Not yeah, especially that round. But he won that round. So I don't want to take anything away from his performance that night, especially considering he came in at record breaking time, not getting a chance to prepare for Lopez. But on the flip side of the coin, Lopez didn't get a chance to prepare for him either.
That's true.
And I believe knowing that you didn't get a chance to practice really, you give it your all. Versus sometimes I feel like the example of Masvidal did better versus Usman in the first fight
Yeah,
because I think his back was against the wall. So sometimes that helps. So not to discredit him from that performance, but Ige is definitely somebody that could take you into deep waters because not only does he have good cardio, he's resilient with chin, an all-round fighter. He can wrestle and get back up if you take him down. And he has power in
yeah,
that right hand that could just change the dynamics of the whole fight. Now, Milky being he's dominantly a stand-up fighter, he's gonna have to watch out for that. Who do you have in this fight, and who do you think style plays in favor? Being that Milky prefers to stand up, but I feel like Ige could take it anywhere. What do you
the
think?
thing is with Ige, I noticed a lot of his knockouts come early. Usually, like first few exchanges, and he gets a good knockout. But then some of his losses are because maybe he was too reserved for too long. So it's like then he gets stronger later, and then it's a little too late. Which if he comes,
Because for the most part,
yeah,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say like if he comes out strong and doesn't let Milky get settled, it just breaks his rhythm, keeps him off balance. I think Dan probably get like just a dominant decision. I think Costa's tough enough to stick in there with Ige, but just a hard, bloody fight. Yeah. And then it's easy for people to get all hyped up after seeing somebody get a highlight reel knockout, and they're thinking this is what this guy does. But I just don't
Styles
see.
make fights.
Yeah, I see Ige high tight guard being able to threaten with his grappling because he's a great jiu-jitsu artist, strong guy, and he has a good overhand. And
Very
when they
good.
come close, he's good at a nice little 1-2. He can catch you real
He's
quick
quick.
in a counter. Yeah,
He's tricky. He's real tricky.
Ige is underrated in speed. He has very
I
underrated
agree.
speed and counters. And then it's very possible Milky can come out and show us that he's part of the new generation to take over. But if I put my money on it, I think unanimous decision win for Ige.
I see Ige definitely has the capabilities to win. You made a good point that if he stays too reserved, because he fights pretty smart. He's a pretty good technical fighter. You know,
Yeah,
he's been in the fights with dangerous people that he survived, like Lopez. The thing is, he should come forward. He needs to put Melky on his back foot. He can't be too punch shy because Melky does have a little bit of momentum. I believe he'd have the age on him as well.
yeah,
I know he's confident. I mean, he's pretty decent with the stand up. And if I'm not mistaken, he's taller than him.
yeah.
So he's going to have the reach advantage.
Not Milky. I think Ige's on the shorter side of the guys in the division,
Yeah.
or at least he fights shorter. I notice he kind of stays real squatted down.
Uh huh.
And then I think if
He,
Ige decides he's gonna dictate the distance between them, he's gonna make him uncomfortable. He's gonna choose like, no, what happens happens. Like, not be too patient. Obviously not reckless.
exactly.
He's gonna decide what's the geometry of the fight.
I think he's going to give his stand up a chance too for the first
Yeah,
round. And that could be a mistake. Sometimes these fighters, if they have the advantage over another fighter, let's just say on the ground, it's like a chess game.
yeah,
Maybe he thinks that his opponent is waiting for that. So let me surprise you with my game plan by standing up. But I think it just needs to be mixed in better.
yeah.
I think you need to stick with your bread and butter and just learn how to mix it in well. When somebody overthrows, come under them or whatever you got to do. Win a good exchange till they ball up and go down for a double. But he's definitely going to need a level change against Milky because Milky has the reach on him. He has the confidence and he has a diverse array of strikes from what I've seen just in his few fights.
Yeah.
So is it the turn of the tides? Is it going to be Ige reminding somebody? Ultimately, I'm going to need a prediction from you again. What do you got?
I think Ige is gonna remind everybody that he's not done yet. It's good that when guys have that feeling like, wait, I'm a gatekeeper. That's what y'all think. And so it's like, all right, so he might come in with a little chip on his shoulder and shit. An aggressive Ige is a dangerous Ige. So I'm going with
Yeah.
Ige.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I got to go with somebody. Uh, I also I can say it goes over. It goes to a decision. We'll go with I'm gonna have to go Milky split decision. I'm gonna tell you why. I think that that point you made, being that this is gonna be his most important fight because it's his next fight. He knows that this kid is trying to take his spot. I think he's gonna try to fight as smart as he can. And being super aggressive isn't usually the smartest. You got to be aggressive when you have openings. You can't
yeah,
let time go by. You got to attack fast. You get him dazed. You got to dive at him. You know, the kid's longer than him, and Ige does the same thing.
yeah,
He comes in, he's got the same type, whether he kicks you a little bit or he goes for 1-2 and he waits. He's a good counter puncher. And I think he doesn't use his takedown ability and his grappling and jits enough. I don't see
I
him
feel
on the
like he
ground
steered
enough.
away
Now
from that for sure recently.
yeah, and we got a chance to see it against Lopez because a lot of people don't know how dangerous Lopez is on the ground, like
Yeah,
how he was able to do John Silva in that first round. So that's what I'm going to go with, and we'll see what happens. But
yeah.
Nate, the best man win. Pray for both men that they make it to their families home and safe after the bout and gets a good check. So off until let's talk about that main event, Barry. What do you think about Sean Strickland versus Fluffy? I know you're biased. We love
Yeah.
Fluffy, but let's break it down from a non-biased point of view as best as you can.
Um, they're both good cardio. That's the main thing. Like, you're not gonna see a guy's gas out Thing is with Sean Strickland though, if you let him, he will just point fight and take the easy, not easy because it's all UFC caliber guys. But if he sees that, oh, I can just teep and jab with the high guard and get a decision win, he'll take that. And then Fluffy's more the guy. His game plan is always, I'm gonna make you fight everywhere. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like he's aggressive. He's aggressive grappling. He's in your face, throwing combinations. Strickland's a very underrated grappler, I believe. I feel like
Yeah.
he's highly technical, but his persona online, people think he's just this meathead. But when he's in there, he's very proficient everywhere. But he has the same problems Ige sometimes, where sometimes he's a little too patient. And then what we've seen with Fluffy last time is he's going to get after it, but he's more defensively responsible than he's been recently. You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like Fluffy's going to push a pace, but when guys push a pace with Sean Strickland, he can come out and he can throw down too. He's a tough guy. I don't think this is going to be a quick finish for sure. And it's going to come down to the fourth and fifth rounds. And it's going to be one of those things where it's like, who's really going to dig deep and say they want it more?
And I think that you'd agree that that's Fluffy.
Yeah.
That's more hungrier. That's more hungry.
I feel like Sean Strickland maybe accomplished more than he thought he would already, being a former champ. And I feel like his hands are in too many different pots. He's always doing something, and I don't think MMA is his main focus as much as it is for Fluffy.
I mean, he has the momentum.
Yeah.
Okay, we can't forget who Strickland is. He's top tier.
Yeah.
How are you going to close the distance versus Strickland? You probably have a safer chance when Strickland isn't as quick, because you definitely want to get low level change, ride him down, make him get up.
Fluffy has the most takedowns at middleweight history.
And another thing is, Sean Strickland has underrated takedown defense.
Yes.
He can get up really well. I just don't think that he practices advancing when he's, on the ground with you.
Yeah.
He more likes to get up to his bread and butter with his boxing. The UFC did this thing where they put these monitors on a lot of the fighters' heads when they sparred. And I guess he was number one or something when it came to
he gets
hitting and getting hit least with boxing, because that's what he dominantly likes to do, or at least what I see in there. I've been to the gym a couple of times but never seen him spar live. So closing the distance for Fluffy could be dangerous when Sean is sharp and stronger. So if you don't close the distance though, you're playing into Sean's game. If you play the outside game with Sean, you're going to get teeped to death, and you're going to feel that jab. And if he cuts you or opens up that, so we're going to have to see Fluffy. Do you think he's just going to blitz him?
I think Fluffy's going to be more patient. He's not a small middleweight either. He's more trim, but he's long. He has good kicks, and I feel like there's enough footage on Strickland where they can defend the teep and come in. But what Fluffy excels at and why he has so many takedowns is there's not as much of a gap between his striking and wrestling. When he closes the clinch to get the takedowns, it's striking, and the combo is part of the grappling. Like, grappling is part of the combination. So it's more of a seamless transition, so it catches you off guard. And then some of his takedowns, it's not like always just a blast double. Sometimes it's just like a lot of combos. And then when he closes the distance in that flurry, he gets some good trips. And then he'll ride a guy, let a guy feel like he's getting up, but he's just punishing him, dragging him back down, just making him work a lot. He's good at making guys work in very uncomfortable positions. And then Strickland is good at also, like you said, distance management. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He can appear stationary, but what I feel like it is that he doesn't have a lot of wasted movement in his footwork.
I super agree with that. When it comes to unwasted movement, he's up there, but sometimes I feel he doesn't move enough. Like when he fought Dricus the first fight, it looked like he was drugged or some shit.
Frozen a little bit, like
he was stiff. That wasn't the same Sean that fought Izzy. But then again, he was younger when he fought Izzy, right? One war less. So I think that when you look at the way Dricus did him in the second fight, you say, okay, Fluffy's got cardio like that. What's different? I think that Fluffy striking, boxing, let's create some controversy, is better than Sean's.
I did too,
Now I'm gonna tell you why.
especially after his last fight.
In a I'm gonna tell you why. Because even if you didn't think it was as crisp or the form wasn't as on point where he was, bringing the most leverage behind it, boxing also has to do with defense. So Sean is kind of winning on the slipping out of the center line with that, right? But if you do a 3 round bout of just boxing, I got Sean. But see, this is the thing. This is a 5 round fight where takedowns and so forth are included. So I believe he'll edge Sean with the cardio, because you have to remember it takes a lot of more endurance and cardio to wrestle and punch.
Yeah.
Imagine if Fluffy just punched. Do you see? Imagine if Strickland actually wrestled, then try to do that. He wouldn't be as fast.
It wouldn't be as
You
effective
see?
either. Yeah.
So Fluffy is gonna probably TKO him in the fourth. That's what I got Fluffy doing, because he's gonna catch up to him.
Yeah, similar prediction.
No later, no the latest, the end of the second. He's gonna grab him good, where he's gonna be riding him. And Strickland loves to get up.
Yeah.
Versus different people saying, "Oh, you guys' problem," using it as an example, fighting these people that want to take you down. You fight the takedown and drain yourself out. Well, these are people that have good jits. They can let them take them down and then just work off their back. That's what Nate said he would have did it against Shemaev. We don't know how it would have favored, but I'm just giving that as an example that Strickland loves to get up. So it works in Fluffy's game plan to go ahead and make him feel like he's going to get up and then just take him down again, continue riding him until he exhausts him,
drag you back down.
Hit him as he's getting him up, drag him back down. Third round, he's not the same, probably some damage, so forth. Fluffy's got that second win. Oh my God. Where it looks like he's working on his first one still, right?
Yeah.
And then there you go. And he's not Delize Strickland. He's going to be able to keep Fluffy at bay, in my opinion, better than Delize did.
I think Strickland is better cardio than Delize, but I feel like Delize has been grappling.
A lot
still
better.
Able to dominate Delize.
But I believe the cardio has something to do with that, though. His grappling wasn't as strong no more. With DDP, though, the only thing I think that he has different from Hernandez, as far as attributes to help with his success against Strickland, would be his awkward punching, as far as where they came in angles. You did stuff with, like a lot of fighters say, you do stuff you're not supposed to do. You
disrupt your
lead too. Yeah, right. But you're not practicing for that, Strickland, and you actually box so well that you only spar majority of the time with people that box fairly well. So that's something you just don't see, so it tricked you. I believe Fluffy is more fundamentally based by a long shot than DDP, which is definitely going to pay off in his career period and in the later rounds with Sean Strickland. He's going to have to rely on going and just making it ugly.
Yeah.
He's going to have to go make it ugly fast. I don't see no success for Fluffy doing anything outside of his bread and butter until the later rounds. And that's the beauty of mixed martial arts, is that Fluffy's game right now, I believe, is at championship level. And I think that Shemaev is already running from him. He's already talking about 205.
Yeah.
He knows if you do not choke Fluffy out after the first round, it's a problem, because the type of scrambling, and let me let you know, Fluffy thing to me, he isn't the strongest, he isn't the fastest. This dude is relentless. He's vicious though, and he's got heart. He's a perro, he's a dog, and he's not gonna quit. So yeah, we all love Fluffy. I love Strickland too. He's a good fighter. He surprised a lot of people. Actually won some money when he fought Izzy. But Barry, what is going to be your final prediction for Fluffy versus Strickland in the main event this Saturday?
So similar to yours, just a little different. I think it's going to be fourth or fifth round rear naked choke. Where, because you mentioned how he likes to get up a lot, and I feel like as he's getting more exhausted and as he's getting pounded, as he's just getting beat up, he's going to give that opportunity for Fluffy to snatch his neck. And Fluffy has done that where he's pieced people up with his striking, hurt them, and then they like moving around to get position, and he slips in one that choke. And it looks similar to how he did Delize when he was like dragging him, but I could see him grabbing him, taking him down, and getting down and choking him. And he hasn't said it, but it just kind of feels like Strickland has like 1 foot out right now.
And if the foot is out, then he will get choked. If the foot isn't out, he's smart enough to defend the choke because he worries about that being that he doesn't advance on the ground. He just gets up or tries to avoid
Yeah.
getting choked. That's what he practices a lot. I believe if he gets choked out, it's because one foot's out the door. Or if he doesn't get choked out, he's going to get TKO'd because he's going to land some jabs on Fluffy. Fluffy's not going to like that. And he's not going to like the narrative that Strickland's boxing,
Yeah.
a lot of people think is better than his.
Yeah.
Now, why I said to finish off Fluffy's is better, because if you guys keep fighting, you're not going to be able to throw your arms as much as Hernandez is. He's just got more endurance than
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean? So that comes into favor if you're in a boxing match, man. But in MMA, it's different. And but being that he possesses that takedown threat, his hands are still better.
Yeah, I just
So I
think
got Fluffy's hands better than Strickland's.
yeah, I do too because I think Strickland's boxing is better in the sense of the basic fundamentals as far as high guard, 1-2 slip, but he has wide looping hooks, and like a lot of times, like you see when the guys are able to defend the 1-2, nothing much else happens, and Fluffy's better at just
I hate those hooks.
yeah, he's better at high and tight and combinations while staying defensively responsible, but he's more so kind of moving away with it with his hands up, but still in your face. Fluffy's defense seems more so to keep him still in the fire to return fire back himself. I'm going to make you miss, but I want to make you pay immediately. That's how he's been beating.
It seems like, well, I think he's been getting better.
No, his technique is improving too, because the difference between him versus Brendan Allen, who I think is very underrated, versus the fight with Delize, his skills look like they made a massive jump.
That was a very close fight, but you could just see that the heart has a lot to do with it, man. And I'm not discrediting BA's heart, but boy, that heart of that Mexican, my boy, Fluffy Hernandez,
Fluffy got a different kind of fire in him right now.
He got that fuego.
Yeah.
And that's something that you don't want to fuego with.
Yeah, and how he beat Brendan Allen was just timing his takedowns better. And
then, Allen, that was a close one, man.
That was a real close one. And then I thought the Delize fight was going to be closer because of that fight. But I feel like fights like that, someone knows exactly where they need to improve, and they also have maybe a better belief in themselves. They're like, oh, I can fight hard a long time. And they go, I could have probably put in more. And then they come into the next fight with a different perception of themselves and their own skills. And if they took that into training, by the time they go to the next opponent, they're facing a whole different guy than the last fight. And Fluffy's still really young. And like you can say, even his body composition is changing. Like he's looking more and more solid, less fluffy. I just think
I was gonna say, I think it's kind of hard going back down. You're better off as you're young. You start at the lowest weight you possibly can and then go up. But I'm not going to eliminate the possibility of him becoming a two-time champ, not only at 85 but 70, considering what you just said. Some people probably haven't did the best job on earth as far as what they consume in, like, for an example, Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo is a perfect example because for years he dominated raw talent, tenacity, and had problem making weight at 145. Once he actually got a dietitian on the team, he was able to make 135 later in his career.
Yeah.
Which is actually harder to go down in weight later in your career. So that's how much a difference a dietitian, what would you call it? A chef for you, your calories and so forth. A nutritionist is so much different when you have a nutritionist on the team.
Especially it's like food tailored to you and your goals.
That's even different. That's more even in-depth. That's like advanced stats.
Yeah.
We're not just giving you what's good. We're giving you what's good for your body. We're going to check what you're allergic to. We're going to check how your body reacts to this certain type of fibers and protein and so forth. So I agree with you.
I like watching the smaller guys who could have maybe, for all I know, Fluffy walks around heavier than we think. He might have some dense-ass bones, but he looks like he's one of the smaller of the middleweights, and I like that he, instead of being a quote-unquote weight bully, he was just like, I'd rather just grow into my frame naturally, and then he's able to push this pace that they can't because he's not cutting the same amount of weight, possibly. He's able to be at his healthiest at fight night.
That's another thing. So he wins, let's just say. It's getting harder and harder for Shemaev not to put on weight, not being in a camp. And being that he's already talking about Pereira, this 205 stuff, he doesn't like cutting. I look at him honorable that he wants to not be a weight bully and show that he can actually compete at 205, but you're trying to fight a striker
Yeah,
that you know is an easy W.
yeah.
So with Fluffy though, I like how you pointed out that he's not a weight bully. He's not the biggest middleweight. And in fact, by the time he gets a chance to fight Shemaev would have been cutting to 185 so long. If he does make weight, how is his body going to react in the later rounds with somebody that has excellent cardio that you weren't able to choke out? Because Brandon Allen wasn't able to choke out Fluffy. Like you said, Fluffy isn't just a person that can handle you on the ground. He has very good submission defense as well.
He has black belt level skills, and he's aggressive everywhere. And well, even the DDP fight with Chimaev, DDP didn't do much, but the few he landed, he looked like he hurt Chimaev pretty good. And I'm gonna say this: Fluffy's grappling and defensive grappling is a lot better than DDP's. So, like, he struggled with DDP. If Chimaev, I'm gonna say this: all these sicknesses and injuries are still gonna add up, regardless if you come in healthy from fight night. It's still a toll on your body. If he fights Fluffy and there's any wilt that happens, it's gonna go downhill fast.
I already think it is. You gotta imagine the momentum my boy Fluffito is gonna be riding.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
How confident, how much more sharp. The game planning, the dive for the single Chimaev does every time. Have you had somebody dive at you like that, Chimaev? I haven't seen it one time.
And I'm gonna be honest with you,
Are
like,
you even ready for that?
I think Chimaev is a great fighter, but I'm not sold on him being this unbeatable force at middleweight at all.
Oh, heck no. Bro, give Kamaru full 5 rounds, he beats him.
Give Kamaru a full camp and he beats him.
Yeah.
That was 10 days notice.
It's just that.
Coming up 10 days.
Yeah, but you know, that would be his first full camp at 185. Did ever in his career he fight at 85? But I hear what you're saying. Like, to me, he's not unbeatable. I mean, everybody's beatable. You just got to find the chink in the armor.
It's just like, I don't see nobody beating Chimaev for a really long time. And it's like, what do you think all these professionals are doing? You don't think they don't understand the skill set? You don't think they're taking the precautions? You don't think there's dudes outside the top 15 thinking, oh, I got a shit ton of time because I'm not even in the conversation yet to work on fucking working with dominant wrestlers and grappling defense?
Well, think about what Burns did to him.
Yeah, he had aggressive jiu-jitsu and a high pace. Who else has aggressive jiu-jitsu and a high pace? Fluffy.
If you'd have seen the end of that round where he was on the floor grabbing at his legs and Burns hit him with that, come on, man. He had 10 more seconds. But you can't say 10 more seconds because maybe Chimaev knew how many seconds remained in that round and what he could get away with. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So I don't ever want to discredit anybody. Chimaev is the wolf. One hell of a fighter. Has he fought somebody that's going to give him adversity? He has. Kamaru Usman.
Yep.
Look what happened. You were pretty much on your back foot that third round.
Yeah.
The end of the third round. And you know what happens when you get on that back foot? You get exhausted.
Another thing, too, is he's talking about Pereira being the easy win for him. Pereira's real good at just defending, and he's a big, strong guy. What happens if he starts to gas out? And Pereira, if he was able to defend Ankalaev's grappling, who's a bigger guy than Chimaev, I don't think he's as good as a grappler as Chimaev. If you look at his record, he's not the submission artist Chimaev is. But he has some grappling skills. Nobody's ever been able to hold Pereira down. Still, not Blachowicz for a little bit. But he's good at surviving on the ground. And if he lands a couple leg kicks, survives on the ground long enough, and Chimaev, who has these cardio issues, and Pereira has underrated conditioning, I feel like.
Well, I think if Pereira runs a lot, he gets some good Olympic wrestlers in there a little bit heavier than him, and he prevents the takedown and does some camps from here on out. Being that he's lengthy, a lot of people don't realize with that leverage gives you good takedown defense if you have a proper wizard.
Yeah.
Right? Especially up against the cage, because you use the cage
especially
as well.
Especially if he goes in, he's able to split his
Strickland's.
leg.
Yeah, I think that Pereira's grappling, takedown defense, getting up capability are all improving. And you just made a good point. I think that if he's not able to choke out Pereira after, let's just say, the second round, or the first round,
Yeah.
and doesn't do enough damage that first round, and Pereira's going to be able to continue staying up, and he's been doing his conditioning, Pereira would be the first one. He'd end up knocking out Chimaev.
Yeah. Also, too, though, if Pereira
A
moves
lot
up,
of ifs.
yeah, if Pereira moves up to heavyweight, like how he said,
Hmm?
I don't think Chimaev wants many parts of Yuri Prohaska.
Well, I haven't seen anybody try to take Yuri down. He's fought all strikers.
Glover,
He fought Rakic. He fought
Glover's the only one.
Glover. Yo, and Glover. Oh, man, that was a crazy fight.
Glover,
Remember when he
though,
turned
the difference
around, he
between
choked Glover out.
Glover's takedowns is that Glover hides his takedowns
He was
with
old.
very heavy boxing.
He was very well rounded. I love Glover. Glover is just
My favorite.
I don't think he was at his prime anymore
No.
when he fought Yuri. And Yuri is one of my favorite. He's got to be all of the casuals' favorites, right?
Yeah, there's some highlights of him on his back in Ryzen and some other organizations, and you're fighting him forever, and he's dangerous everywhere. So I think Chimaev trying to aggressively go to already is kind of like, oh, is that because you think it might be easier because there's less strikers? I mean, less grapplers.
Grapplers, more strikers.
Yeah, and he thinks like,
So
oh,
you'll
he can get
fit
some
in
quick
better.
wins, but I was like, I don't think he'll go how he thinks he's gonna go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he's not even active, so like,
Well, we'll see. Only time will tell. But so you got Ige and Fluffy, and I got Milky and Fluffy.
yeah. And I got
That's a good 2-pick right there. What?
like, yeah,
And you got who else? Oh, you got Sergey?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Sergey is a veteran polar bear. Underrated grappler.
Strong grappler.
Very strong, big.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got a first round submission.
He's too much of a stalker, though. He does no lateral movement, relies on his size, decent boxing, good chin, well-rounded.
He fights.
It's just those chinks, if they can be exploited. Yeah, and he doesn't duck anybody. And then, just so everybody is clear, in the UFC, there's not as much ducking as nowhere near as there is in boxing.
No,
even though I love boxing. We're just being clear on that.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad you mentioned the like little differences in boxing. One, there's not as much ducking, and I think that's why when a fighter decides he wants to retire in MMA, the only way we're going to talk shit about you for retiring is if you keep talking about active fighters as if you're an active fighter.
Like Triple C did.
And then, but if you're not fighting and then you just kind of be like, oh, it is what it is, then people are like, oh yeah, enjoy your retirement. We're gonna miss your fights.
Yeah.
And most people, but in boxing, if you retire, people act like Terrence Crawford, who's 38 and has been boxing since he was a kid, so probably like 30 years, and made millions of dollars, all these accomplishments. He can't be tired of boxing. Like he has to be scared of somebody. It's like, dude, maybe I just want to enjoy my family now.
Maybe there's people that just want to see him lose.
That's what it is, though. They want to see you lose.
As well.
Because it's like, you want to see me just keep fighting into my 40s and just getting beat on in my head. Same thing when Andre Ward retired. They're like, why did he retire?
He retired pretty young.
He had a lot of shoulder injuries, too. And he was just like, you know what? I want to retire with all my faculties. And I like how MMA, when a fighter loses and when a fighter retires, they get a lot more grace and a lot more respect. If anything, when you retire and lose and come back, if you lose and come back, fight hard, or if you retire, sometimes you get more fans. Look at DC.
But who doesn't love DC, man? He's a people's person. He's just a good guy. He's entertaining, successful. And just to rewind a bit, I do think that not only Bud Crawford, but Son of God, Andre Ward are good examples of prize fighters.
Yeah. Got the prize.
Being successful. Got the prize and left. Get what you need and leave. And that isn't that, they're men of many hats.
Yeah.
Them two gentlemen in particular as well. I have a lot of respect for both of them. I take a likeness to both of those gentlemen as athletes and even as people.
Yeah.
I can't wait to meet them. Barry, thank you. I appreciate you. So, hey, to all the viewers, if you could go ahead and leave a comment, subscribe, tell us how you felt. I know we spoke about a lot. Leave a comment and we'll both respond. We appreciate you. God bless. Thank you.